Window and I'm seeing things are spooky, so spooky. It's like a movie.
It's like what kind of?
And I don't understand this. I don't understand these times. These vibes is weird. Listen.
I don't understand this.
Listen. Misconceptions take us the truth and racing to the edge. As the ones who give us our news are purposely leading us there.
Yeah.
When you think of this thing and all the trouble you're singing, think of a trip with many stops and every city's weird. No connection to reality. Destruction is near, but the people sound asleep, so they don't even care. Watching movies, that's a mirror of the place we live. Reflections looking back, we told it's just a fib. Rich niggas speaking secrets shape how we live, but we really can't blame them, cause we voted them in. The real is that we really didn't vote them in, but perceptions of the ignorant strengthens their hand. Fatalistic is the end, broad road method. Population slaves still checking freedom checklist. If you want to trick them, have them thinking reckless. Make them hate each other, thinking race is the real essence. Got us feeling so big, like we live in Texas. And it's 2484 blessing. Brother missing close is the real message. Put it in your vein, track your whole session. It's a sad thing when you figure it out. All the variants with side effects from tweaking out. Put it in your vein, listen real close. Couple years we'll have the numbers and you'll be toast. You can get it free. Everybody, and at that 5G, gonna start the flare. Now your mind's sick, thinking many thoughts, and they not your thoughts, cause we put them there. Did you think it was cool, like we really care? It was just a trick, now you stuck there. We the demons who strip souls and lead them to hell. And the judgment is set, so we taking you there. Push a button and that 5G reacts to the jab. Love you like computers with a code, making you mad. Now you tripping like them zombie movies lost in the stare. No control of thought, emotions, and your will is impaired. But the rule, keep us honest, so avoid what we said. Turn to Christ, he's your life, make a choice. You've been fed. You've been fed. You've been warned. All day, to the J. I spit the real truth in the city. You know I gotta speak it like witness. I gotta tell the people the real, because if I don't, who gon' tell them?
Tell them.
Don't take that jab, leave that jab alone. The hourglass is leaking sand, but we still surfing Cowabunga. Reminisce, remember the time, reflected on life when I was younger. I used to get mine, do anything to get my numbers. Cause where I'm from, your pockets power and women love that Hummer. Niggas try to front and make me stunt, you know I'm chopping them up like lumber. You never see me coming, Stevie Wonder.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What's something that you would always want to say to a stalker? Somebody that is lived their whole life to put you through absolute hell. Think about that. If you have the opportunity to speak face to face with a stalker, the one that's behind you with the one headlight, the one that's doing the street theater, the one that's possibly has like some sort of microwave, some sort of contraption where they can cause radiation to come into your body through the wall. You know, have you ever had that happen to you before? I was in an apartment one time and I was laying, my bed was next to the wall. And I always felt like there was something that was some ray that was coming through, like was affecting my skin. You know, like when you're close to a microwave and you just feel like your skin feels different, your body feels different. So imagine having your head next to a wall and having this thing happen to you 24, like, you know, whenever you sleep and you wake up and you feel dizzy and you feel confused and so much you have to shake your head and like, what's going on with me? That's what I lived through. These people, if you had an opportunity, these people that are performing these acts against us for self-gain, for other nefarious reasons, to be elevated in spiritual realm, because spiritual and physical. What would you say to them? These monsters, these people that have no connection with the God that made them. Imagine being a pawn to a power that hates them and that is only giving them something temporary that they can grasp onto, only to take it away just like that. This conversation is for you. What would you say to a gang stalker if you had the opportunity to meet them face to face? Face to face, what would you say? No violence, just able to, you may even have to have some sort of wall between you. But what would you say to them? What kind of, I can only imagine what many of us would say to them. That's what this conversation today will be about. So when I share the link, that's what I want the conversation. That's the direction that I would like for it to go. And there's a reason why that I'm having this conversation like this, because a lot of you might think that I want you to have anger towards the gang stalker. No. In this channel, Judah J's channel, Judah J Talks, we try to figure out ways to solve problems. We don't want to stay in the problem. We're target individuals here. If you come to this channel, you have gone through an experience that is unlike any experience anyone else has ever gone through. This is real stuff. This is not what most people know. Many people don't go through this. This is our thing. And so we should not just dwell on the symptoms. On this channel, we need to find resolutions to our problem. And you know my stance and on where our resolution should lie, which is in Christ, Yahushua HaMashiach, which some people call Jesus. You know that. So if you've come here before, you know. But everyone has their own way. In this channel also, even if you don't believe in my God, because of you being connected to being a target individual, you are welcomed here. And no one will make you feel any other way. There are rules, of course, to being on this channel. You're not going to be worshiping Satan and saying no stuff like that on this channel. You're doing that. That witchcraft and sorcery is a main reason why a lot of our targeting is heightened. So best believe I'll stop that. And I'll have moderators that will be in the chat to stop that. But what would you say to a gang stalker, a perp that's been following you, that's been setting you up, that's been every day of their life trying to find that perfect thing that they could do to cause you to fall, and then receiving joy from it, and even gifts and rewards? What would you do? What would you say? Not do, say. I got a couple videos that I'm going to show you. Here is Judah J's message to gang stalkers and perps. I'm going to play one video for you that's very short. Hopefully you guys will stick around, of course. Hopefully stick around. After that, we're going to open it up and have a conversation. And then I'll show you another video later. Very short videos. But remember, both of these videos is the message that I have for the gang stalkers. This is my message, because you know the way this channel is. You know the structure, the foundation is Christ. But this is what I would say to them. So I will see you guys back here in just a second.
We're talking about judgment and the lake of fire. Because if I don't get this out now, then it'll be a long time before I say this again.
I will see you guys.
Hell itself is going to be thrown into the lake of fire. You're going out of the frying pan into the fire. It gets worse. It's 100,000 times.
Hold up. Let's do that again. So sometimes you have technical issues and it doesn't go the way you plan. So let's try this again. So this is the message that I would say to gang stalkers. Please listen up.
We're talking about judgment and the lake of fire. Because if I don't get this out now, then it'll be a long time before I say this again. Hell itself is going to be thrown into the lake of fire. You're going out of the frying pan into the fire. It gets worse. It's 100,000 times worse than going to hell. I was standing there and I was looking out, and I could see like it was like a light smoke. So it wasn't dark. It was like a light. So it was a haze, but it was very light. I could see it, and I thought I was seeing something from a distance. And then it started to move. I was on a platform. The platform started to move forward. And I realized I was standing behind a transparent, like a glass barrier. And I moved forward and it stopped. I'm on the platform. And I looked and there were people. They were lined up side by side as far as you could see. As far as I could see back, and as far as I could see to the left, and as far as I could see to the right, they were lined up side by side. And they had their hands up and their mouths open. They were screaming, but I couldn't hear them. They were screaming in terror, but I couldn't hear them, but I could see them. And then I looked, the flames came up to about almost to their waist. But you know how fire goes up, like they say the fire licks. The fire was going up chest high, and their skin was melting. But it didn't come off, it bubbled. Their skin bubbled. It's like, you've seen things that bubble. Mm-hmm. Their skin was bubbling. It was boiling, it was bubbling, but it didn't fall off. And the people were screaming. And there were these creatures. They were as big as, they were as big as a dog. Bigger, as a good-sized dog. But they were like black bumblebees. And they were flying, and they had these stingers. And the stingers looked like they were about 2 feet long. And there was 3 of these things around each person, all the way down, all the way back. And 2 of them would, when they put their hands up and screamed, the stingers, they would stick them through their hands. And the people would scream some more. And then when they opened their mouth to scream, the 3rd creature would stick the stinger in their mouth. They would stick it all the way in their mouth, and then they would scream more. And they moved like, it was like almost like a cartoon with precision. They moved. The creatures, they moved. The one that stung you in the left hand would move to your mouth, sting you in your mouth. Then it would move to your right hand, and they would move to the next person. So they moved like that. And the people just screamed and their skin bubbled. But the skin wouldn't fall off. And they were just there. And I looked at that and I couldn't believe it. And then all of a sudden, whap! One of those black things hit the front of the glass where I was standing. He was trying to attack me. Whap! And I stepped back. And the angel said to me, these things will attack anything here. And I knew that's where Satan was going, and the death angel, who I pray to God I get to see him thrown in. I hate that sucker. But I realized what they're going to go through, and that this was meant for them. This was never meant for humans. It was meant for the devil and his angels. The punishment is bad enough to punish an angel. It's bad enough, that's hell. And the lake of fire is bad enough to punish one of the chief angels, which Satan was when he was Lucifer. The punishment had to be bad enough to punish a chief angel. It is absolutely horrible. And the platform started to move back. And The angel, excuse me. The angel was serious. He said, tell him, don't come here. You, excuse me.
Okay.
You tell him, don't come here. I realized this is the final judgment and the final place for all who don't accept Jesus as Christ. There's no way around it. Like we say on the street, don't get it twisted. There's no place else to go. If you don't go to him, you go there. God doesn't want you there. God wants you with him. But he has no choice. If you will follow Satan, if you don't follow Jesus, you're following Satan. And you will go where Satan is going. If you follow Jesus, you'll go where he's going. But if you don't follow him, you're following Satan, you're going to go where Satan goes. And you're going to get the same punishment that was planned for him. God help you. Don't play with this thing. Do what's right. You need Jesus now. Ask him to save you now.
That's my message to you, gang stalkers. Now, I don't know how you got there. I don't know how you, in your life, you made it to that place where you decided to make that covenant with the fallen one. I don't know why you made that decision. I don't know if it's because of something that happened when you were younger, maybe in the womb. Maybe somebody made a covenant in your family and sacrificed you to the demonic realm. And now you've been fighting your whole life to get away from those forces. And now you in your life, you just basically follow the directions of those forces because you feel like there's no other way. I don't know what your story is, but what I can say is this: while there is time, while there is an opportunity, seek the Lord Yahushua Mashiach, Jesus Christ, because regardless of what you have done to target individuals such as myself or any of these other target individuals here, I speak for this channel and I say I don't believe anyone wants anyone to experience what that man just got done revealing. That was his actual vision. He actually had that experience. And I'm pretty sure you guys can identify just with how real it was. It didn't seem like it was no joke, like he was playing around, did it? It seemed like, some things, sometimes when people say they go through experiences like that, it might be real. It might be real. I know a lot of people have those videos on YouTube where they're saying they've been to hell and back and they have these elaborate stories. But you can tell when it's real. That was a real depiction of what, and it was a warning. And the reason why I'm directing this message to gang stalkers is because they are living in ways which is in complete opposition to the Most High. And for whatever reason, for whatever spiritual pull they have tugging at them, they can't see the darkness on the other side of this thing. Because it's once for a man to live and then it's the judgment. There is no reincarnation. Sorry, that's what you possibly have been told. And I know that there's many people that would profess that, but ask yourself, have they come back? Do you have any evidence, justifiable evidence that can prove that these people that give you these doctrines are actually telling the truth? Come on. I mean, this is like one of those questions where I would ask the person to be honest with themselves. You don't have to play the role. This is just a you being honest with yourself type thing. Nobody has any sort of proof or evidence of any of that. And my proof is the word of the Most High God. So I know that's not true. I don't need anybody to say anything to me. My proof's in the Bible. And that man in that video that I just showed you, he was so emotional about it, even though he didn't go through the experience. But he went through the experience, but he wasn't the one that was being hurt by those angels that were punishing the people that were in that place. But he was so emotional, even he cried for what he saw going on to wicked people. Sometimes I believe that you can become so emotional, right? so emotional, where even if your enemy is going through something, you and that something really, really bad's happening even to them, it can cause you to break down and cry, even because you are human. Things can be so bad in this world and get so bad to people, even the people that you might think you hate. That's why he had that emotion. It was too much to deal with. Lake of fire, being separated from God, family, separated from any hope forever, being in that place where when you close your eyes, man, you are now amongst the spirits that you were serving, that you were calling on. All of these demonic spirits and entities deities that you were worshiping, you are now at their behest. You are now without any covering, and the truth of their true relationship that they wanted to have with you. See, right now it's like a gaslight situation where the demonic spirits that these gang stalkers and perps are following by using these tarot cards and Ouija boards and doing astral projection, leaving their bodies and actually being able to be in the spiritual realm, which I have another video that's going to be another short video in just a second. But it explains this, doing the astral projection and doing all these other satanic kundalinis and all the opening your third eye and all this stuff. It's only fragmenting your soul. And what it's doing, it is fragmenting your soul, and it's making it so that there's a breach now between you and God, your maker, the one, the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, in Yahusha, Jesus Christ. There's a breach now, to where if you try to get back into that fold, into God's fold, because of that breach, it's going to be a struggle. It's going to be hard. It's going to be maybe you might not even make it. Who knows? Because there's going to be forces that are against you, trying to keep you. It's easy to go somewhere. It's harder to leave, is what I'm saying. And that's what now gang stalkers. This is the plight. There is a reward for wickedness. But we as humans do not we don't act as God, so to speak, and try to give someone their what we think their just due is, because that's not our position. It says the Lord Yahushua Mashiach, he is the issuer of life and death, Mosiah. He is the issuer of life and death. But when that time comes and you don't have a hedge of protection, you are now a being without a body in the spiritual realm, walking amongst demonic spirits, and they see you, and they will now they will completely devour you completely. They will completely they will do things to these spirits that when people leave their bodies and they didn't have Christ, what is going to occur to them in the spiritual realm is so horrific, so unimaginable, and it's forever and ever and ever. And then you have to look forward to going where? To the lake of fire, to burn forever. So these things that these gang stalkers are doing, y'all, they have no idea what the consequences is for their actions. We're just flesh and blood. I'm a flesh and blood guy. I bind every demonic spirit of arrogance and pride. I cast it out to the abyss. I'm just being honest. I don't want any evil to happen to my enemies. I just don't. I've gone through so much in life. I guess it's changed me. I never was a person that disliked people and was against people. I stayed to myself. I'm not somebody that's going to be around a whole bunch of people. It's not the way I am. But the thing is, you know, I have a new love for people, even though those that might not care for me, because I've gone through so much where it's just, you can go through so much sometimes where it takes too much to hate somebody. It takes, it takes too much energy and too much stuff to just say, I'm going to keep this grudge against this person. And I just hope that they have problems, and I hope their life is just turmoil. And then you start to think about what you're doing. That's a life. That person has a life and has people that love them and want them to do well. And they have families and they have this and that and that. And then you look at yourself, we're all connected in a way. So like, why would you want evil? Why would you wish evil on anyone? If you do, there's something in you. There is a spirit in you that would lead you to do that. That's why I tell you guys all the time, this program ain't natural. It's not a natural thing. They may use natural weapons, of course, but they are also using the spiritual realm. That's first and foremost. It's a spiritual program. And they try to make you believe it's all, it's physical by showing you the devices. They try to show you all these different devices they have to torment the target individual. They got this, they got that, they got this, they got that. But see, they're covering up the trueness of the program, which is it's spiritual. And this whole thing is about keeping us from finding Christ. Because we might have some sort of gift or some sort of uniqueness that is a threat to them. And it's not no threat physically, because we're, like I told you before, we're just physical blood beings. They got who knows how many of these people are out there. It says in the Bible that be not afraid of the vast army. The battle's not ours, it's his. But he says vast army. So that means there's so many of them. It's like being in high school. Everybody is trying to follow the cool kid. Everybody is saying the same things, doing the same things. They're all connected. Everyone's trying to get known. Everybody's trying to establish themselves and do this and that and that. Blessings to everybody in the chat. And I'm going to get to the chat in just a second. But see, this is a high school type experience. But everybody's trying to get known. And then all of a sudden, here you are, this lone person out here. Everybody looks at you like you're different. You don't dress like everyone else. You don't talk like everyone else. You're just not as cool as everyone else. And so then they turn on you and they mock you. They may laugh at you. They may do this. But it's an analogy to what the program is. We are different. We're different. A lot of us, you can, if you look and be honest with yourself, you're probably a different cat. You probably do stuff that you're like, man, nobody do this. Like, man, I really do some different things. But hey, we're all unique. And that's what makes us special. Everybody's unique in their own way. And because of this whole high school mindset, I'm gonna make a video on it. And I'm gonna make this video on this because this is what this whole thing is about. It's high school. It's high school. You're in high school. You're in high school. They wanted the people that created this society, they wanted to keep us in high school. This whole thing is associated with it. When you go to high school, you're trying to become somebody, become noticed. You by wearing certain clothes, by maybe putting on some perfume, like for the women, or putting on, playing sports to be known, and then to get buff. You want people to watch you, to see you, to know you're there. You have to join the cool conversations. You have to do the cool things. If you don't, you are lame. You are not going to get the girl. You're not going to be invited to the party. You are not going to. And that's what they wanted us to be as adults. Everybody's trying to fit in. Everybody's trying to get the best job, the best car, the best house, the best this, the best that. They talk about the people that don't have the things that they have. And if you don't have it, you look down on yourself like you're nothing. Like you don't mean anything, like you're worthless. And then the people that have the things, they pretty much just, do their nose, push their nose in the air, and they don't want to talk to you. And they just look. It's high school. It's high school. Even people now check this out for target individuals. There was somebody on here yesterday. I forgot his name. Not something. I forgot his name. I'm sorry about not one angel, or anyway. We were having a conversation. He was talking about how there's this substance that they have, and that it falls from we were talking about the chemtrails and everything, how it forms in your ear, and so it's sort of like it forms in your ear, and it's sort of like a tracking type of device, but it has graphene in it, and they do this to target individuals, but also there's other everybody. This stuff is falling from the sky now, because of all the chemicals they put into the sky. So now when you kind of like get this little tool and you kind of pick it out and you put it on, and it's like a gummy type thing, but it's also has a magnetic attraction. It has graphene in it. And so we were talking about how because of that, Hold on, what was I talking about? I just got lost. I talking about all this gummy stuff and all. Somebody tell me what I was just talking about. Talking about how. Let me see. I hate when that happens. Just forgot what I was saying. I had this thought, and so anyways, yeah. So anyways, let me see. I was a Gentile. So they basically they put this stuff in your ear, and it's like a tracking device, basically, right? So graphene. I was talking about graphene, but I was trying to associate it with something else. But I kind of lost my train of thought right there. But anyways, it's a high school experience. And so they want us all to fit into this bubble, into this box. And I was talking, okay, I got it. So it's behind your ear, right? And he was talking about how there's these monkey people, the monkey people that is comprised of a lot of maybe he said this, of people that are homeless and they're out on the street and they don't have, and they're the ones that are taken into these places, and now they're like test subjects, and they basically they have devices which they can use to create a certain voice that you hear. Like the people that live, that they surround targeted individuals, right? They come in our areas and they move in where we're at, and they surround us in the communities we're at, these gang stalkers. And so then like they have these devices. It's sort of like the what's that God weapon that they got to try to mimic the voice of God or whatever. But anyways, it's like maybe even a harp type thing. A harp can also create like different images in the sky, and also create different weather anomalies and different patterns and all that stuff, earthquakes and whatever. But they have this thing where they'll be next to you. Let's say they're in an apartment next to you, and then they're having a conversation mocking you. So the conversation is like mocking the target individual, and it's happening on a low frequency. So only your inner ear can hear it, right? So your inner ear can hear this conversation that's going on, is being funneled to your eardrum, to your brain from another place or from another location that's close to you. And hey, who knows how great that frequency or the reach of that frequency can be. So, or they could be somewhere else and also doing that, where you can hear things, the conversations they're having, and then about you, and they're mocking you. And he was like, okay, well, he was able to hear these conversations going on. And I've heard some of that stuff too before. But so anyways, but you hear some stuff like a conversation going on, and it's about you. So you might be doing something, and you might hear people talking about, oh, you're stupid. Look, he's dumb, or she's stupid. She's this. And this was him. He was associating it all to, they're actually being real, like physical people. They're called monkey people. And they're set up by, of course, the government, and to torment the target individuals, right? And then they basically are sent to live around you. That's why you got all the people banging on the walls and stuff, and sometimes you hear the loud noise campaign around you, because these people were put there, right? And I don't know how frequent that is, but he said these people are put there, and they use those devices to create those events. Right. So this is, I got off. Sorry. This is what we're dealing with. The message to these guys is that you have ventured into a place, a realm that you have no idea about. It's temporary. Your joy, your bliss, your rewards, your elevation will stop. This is not witchcraft. This is the Bible. If you have any, if you can hear what I'm saying to you, if there's anything that any part of you that wants to reach out to the Most High, that wants to reach out to Christ and ask him to forgive you, he will forgive you. He is faithful. He says, if you confess your sins, he is faithful to forgive you of your sins. You can be forgiven, even gang stalkers. Yes, my message to you is, that first video was, there is a punishment for going against God, going against his people, being someone that has lived your life to torment people. Come on, for real. You're living your life and getting joy from tormenting people. Everyone here has one life. Everyone here just wants to have as good a life as they can, maybe have a family, maybe see their kids grow, have a good job. No one's perfect. We all do things that are not right. If you are without sin, why won't you cast the first stone? So we all do things that are not right, but you want to punish people for the problems that they have. Like you are on some perch, like you are so up and high and mighty that you can look down on everyone like you're in high school. You're the cool kid, right? You're the cool kid with the powers. You're the cool kid with the Disney Channel powers. You're the cool kid with the Disney Channel powers. Faithful to God. I'm a Gentile, and I've been targeted since I was 19. I'm 26 now. Hold on, let me turn that back. You're a Gentile. You've been targeted since you was 19. You're 26 now. You love to serve the Most High only. Your parents have turned against you and are very evil to you. Yes. Thank you for coming to the channel. Once again, guys, if you would like to join the live chat, I have the link right here. But faithful to God, yes, that is a lot of our stories. Not my story. My family has been loving, caring, and all these things, but we've also had our problems. But the thing is because of this last days situation that we are in, that spirit from the fallen one it can jump into anyone that does not truly have that relationship with Christ. We don't know a lot of the time the backgrounds of our family. We don't know like what if they were into Satanism. We don't know if they were making covenants with the fallen one and then also putting their children in these covenants. This is and to have a conversation with your family about something like that could be something that could cause a breach. Or because if they didn't do anything like that, then you're like, oh my gosh, I'm sorry for. But see, the thing is, things could be so bad, and you not knowing where this thing came from. Maybe you're somebody that does not dabble into things that are not of God. Maybe you don't watch the bad movies. You don't go to the clubs. You don't. You never did that. You never was out there just having sex and being promiscuous and just treating people bad, lying, cheating, stealing, and then you still have these problems. What about that? What about that? Now you ask yourself, why am I being able to see this darkness, the way all this reality is not the same as it used to be? I'm noticing all of these things. People are following, people are watching me. People make you feel this difference when you're around people. It's like it's not natural. It's like you're the person, you just walk in the room and everyone's attention, everyone's attention's on you. You're the one with the X on you. And you're wondering why. So you're like, okay, well, where else can I get this information from? Are you going to ask your family about this? That's a hard conversation to have, but it might be the one you might need to have. Because why would someone just completely change on you, change to you, just change? First, they were nice, they were kind, they were this, and then all of a sudden they change. And they're completely different people. They become a narcissist right overnight. Like, well, what is this? Let me see real quick. I'm going to put the link back up here. Blessings to you, Philip Tilton. Thank you for coming to the chat. Blessings to you. And I'm looking at the chat now, guys. I got to get used to that because I'm still like, I go off on these rants sometimes. This channel will get better. Trust me. Sometimes I don't even look at the chat until like way into the video. And I feel so bad because this channel is about y'all. I'm just trying to say things to help and encourage and also get my help because I need to be in this. This is a blessing to be able to, conversate hopefully with you guys and to share stuff with you. My strength, my hope, and all these things. So sorry if it seems like I'm ignoring you. So I'm not going to ignore you. I'm on it. Django ATX, blessings to you. What's up, everybody? Shalom, Lee. So you're not doing well right now. It says he's not doing well at all right now, but glad to see your post. Most definitely blessings. You're always welcome to be here. Can't wait till you guys. I can't wait till you guys are, decide to share, decide to talk about this whole, what's your message? What would your message be to the gang stalker? If you had an opportunity to stand right across from them or wherever you're at and just tell them how you feel about what they're doing, tell them how the things that they have done have affected your life, what would you say to them? Would you scream? Would you yell? Would you pray for them? Would you ask them? Did you try to pick their brain and ask them why? I mean, what would you do? What would you say? That's the conversation that I want to have right now. Okay, so let me go here. Want you guys there. So there's the link right there. If you would like to join the live stream, you can go and click on this link. Also, the link is in the comment section. It's in the chat area. So you can also click on the link and join the live discussion. Oh, yeah. Also, if you guys would like to donate to the channel, you can go to and push on the $ Judah J Talks 144. You see it scrolling on the bottom there. Cash App, once again, that's $ Judah J Talks 144. Okay, so since we don't have someone right now to talk, I'm going to show you another video. This is also a video that pertains, it's a kind of a different video. It's the experience that a young lady went through when she dabbled into witchcraft, when she dabbled into the sorcery, and it talks about her life and how she got into it. It's a very short video. It's about 3 minutes. So here we go. I will be back in just a moment. Hopefully people
everything
are ready
that
to talk.
happened in that world, I was in control of it.
Should
A little
start
girl's
in a
made-up
second.
world, one where everything was perfect.
It was always about me. People loving on me, people taking good care of me.
For Victoria Baptiste, it was to escape a world where her
Okay, let me do that again. 3, 2, 1.
Everything that happened in that world, I was in control of it.
a little girl's made-up world, one where everything was perfect.
It was always about me. People loving on me, people taking good care of me.
For Victoria Baptiste, it was to escape a world where her parents were often drunk or high, and at times violent, especially her father, who used the Bible to justify his harsh brand of punishment.
A few times of him slamming me on the ground and choking me. If thine arm offends me, cut it off. Like he was saying that I'll just cut you off and leave you behind.
Then there was the verbal abuse, the constant reminders of how she was never good enough.
I hated myself, kind of felt like maybe something was wrong with me.
When Victoria was 5, other voices entered her life, voices only she could hear.
They started to tell me that I'm special and I'm not like other people and I can never be accepted.
In the coming years, Victoria began exploring the supernatural, a search that led her to the study and practice of witchcraft. All the while, there were the voices, encouraging her, leading the way.
I felt like they understood me. The witchcraft became more to me than just play because I knew that stuff was real. Deeper and deeper I would go into it. Like I would astral projection, that's where you project your soul out of your body and you travel in the spirit realm. That's where I felt like I had power.
Even then, it didn't give her the power to escape the ongoing chaos at home. So when she was a teenager, she set witchcraft aside for another form of escape, opioids.
It was like it altered something in me, like I was happy. Like the pain, the heaviness, the emotions that I felt when I woke up every day as a kid, I didn't feel them anymore. This is something that helped me cope with what was really going on the inside of my head.
Victoria came to depend on those drugs throughout high school. For a while, they were enough. Until one night, after a heated argument with her mom, a 17-year-old Victoria heard a familiar voice.
If you just give your life to the devil, then everything will be okay. And I was just like, okay.
The next thing Victoria knew, she had her hands around her mother's neck.
I almost choked my mom to death that night. Couldn't tell you why I stopped choking my mom. I just know I did.
Something had changed in Victoria. As her life began to spiral further, she had several miscarriages, bounced from place to place, and the voices that once offered comfort now tormented her constantly.
They just became aggressive. They would torment me in the middle of the night. I couldn't move, I couldn't breathe, I couldn't see anything. It was like I was being choked to death. And my heart at that time was just, it was just broken. There was nothing but death on the inside of me.
So when you dabble, Shalom Lee, I'll be right with you in just 1 second. So when you dabble in witchcraft and sorcery and you do the astral projection and you start to leave your place to, torment someone else, when you get involved in these things, it will take over you and it will make you see, it'll take over you, but then now you forge the contract with the demonic kingdom. And that contract, very hard to be broken. And now think if you don't have Christ and you're going to try to break a demonic contract, covenant that you made with a demonic spirit. This spirit now has the rights of these people, over these people, to control them, to use them. And there's just nothing that you could tell me that's going to convince me that these people that are now these perps that are, and I'm telling you, these perps, they are involved in that stuff. But nothing you're going to tell me that they like their life now. Their life is most likely a living hell. Their lives are most likely a living hell now. And they just playing with a good face, trying to go out, live out in the world and walk and act like they're like us, normal people. They're just going to work every day and doing their thing. And they have problems, but they overcome it. And they, with normal remedies to overcome. No, that's not what they're doing. They're starving themselves. They're praying that they're seeking help from demonic entities, praying that other people will fall so that they can get some sort of elevation. There's these people all around in the world. But like I showed you before, there is a penalty to pay. And nobody wants to be having to deal with an angry God, the Most High Yah. Nobody wants to really just deal with that. You don't want to deal with that. This is no game. It's not a joke. So Lee, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. Hey, Lee, how you doing? Welcome to the channel.
How you doing, brother?
I'm good. So my question to you is, first of all, if you can tell us who you are and just tell us your experience, and then also what message would you give to a perp or a gang stalker if you had the chance?
Okay. My name is Lee. Lee is my middle name. I'm from St. Paul, Minnesota, a targeted individual, empowered individual, I would say, in other words. And I've been targeted.
Was you on the other day, Lee?
Yeah, that was me, bro.
Okay, yeah, so you made it back home. I told you.
Yes. Yeah, when I made it back home, hey, Judah, I ain't gonna lie to you, I got frostbite, bro. When I made it back home, I had to use survival tactics for warming keeping my hand from getting frostbite. So because when you get frostbite, you can't enter an environment from coming in the cold. You can't enter an environment where the degrees and the weather is more warmer, and it'll make it feel like this fire is hot on your hands or your body. Mostly your hands or your feet get frostbite first. Okay. So when I came into my apartment building, I noticed that my hands started feeling like they was on fire. And when I was talking to you, that's why your video, when people look at our video, they might be like, damn, why was that guy video? It was so choppy, and you heard these moanings and these sounds. That was coming from me because I told you, that's why I gave warning to the video. I said, hey man, I feel like my hand's about to fall off, and I feel like it's cold. I'm here in Minnesota. So anyway, when I listened to the video, I went back to the video, Judah, and I listened to it, and I was like, damn. I said, I think I messed up Judah's video because a lot of my video was choppy.
No, you didn't, brother. It was fine. It was good. We're just blessed that you're here. Okay. So once again, tell us about what would you say to a perp if you had the opportunity, if they were right in front of you and you had the opportunity to tell them anything you would like, what would you say to a gang stalker? What questions would you ask?
Okay. Can you hear me, Judah?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I would say the first question I would ask would be, why me? Why would you gang stalk me? And what is the purpose of you gang stalking me? And what's going to happen? Like, what's the resolution, or what's the resolve, or the end, like the end game, like the movie. So I would want to know, what's the whole the big B script picture, the big B script picture. I would want to know. So for me, I would say to them that because I've spoken with gang stalkers before. They gang stalked me with the one headlight, and I've seen people that made comments towards me, and I said, hey, I don't know if you're aware of gang stalking, but that's what I believe that you're doing right now. And then I said to one lady that had the headlight, and I said, I know you gang stalking me. I recorded you. I showed her a video of me recording her, and I said, this is what I'm going to do. And I showed her the video, and I said, I'm deleting this video. I said, why I'm deleting this video is because I don't want that kind of karma. I don't want to let you know that I'm watching you like you're watching me. I don't want to let you know that what you're doing to me, I want to do back to you, for my gratification, or for my investigation, or for my proof, because God sees everything. The Most High knows everything and sees everything. So I feel like the court for gang stalkers is the court in the petition of God and the throne of God. And because the judicial system, the politics, we're talking about Congress, we're talking about judges, legislators, will not listen, and they will not help. I've spoken with councilmen in my district, county area. I've spoken with congressmen. I've spoken with the mayor. I've been stiff armed by them, like a football player. You know, a football player, they stiff arm you. So I by their affiliates, their associates, they will not let you get close to them. To some people that are not really aware of the program, where that are in that are in the system. So I had friends with judges. I mean, I had. Sorry, man.
No, you're doing good. You're good. Good. Keep going, man.
I would say that I've been targeted since I was a child, since I was a kid. And I would say to them that it's way bigger than what you guys think, and that there's deities and there's entities that are at work, that are at force, that you have no knowledge about. And it's mostly new age people. We're talking about youth. We're talking about college students, universities, people that are in practices of nursing and different employment and jobs that are coming to different fields, and they get this type of awareness about people that are blacklisted and that are targeted individuals, and they have to roll with it, and some of them don't. Judah, I met targeted individuals that said that they didn't say it to me, Judah, but they came to me and they was letting me know that they really wasn't with it, and that they really was looking out for me, and that they was rooting for me. I'm telling you, bro, I was working at Dollar Tree. There was this lady, and I knew it, Judah. She was because
It's all right, man. It's all right. It's all right. This is what we need. This right here. This is real talk. Hey, get it out. Get it out. Yep. Because this
right now, Judah, I've been drinking.
Mhm.
I've been watching porn all day.
Mhm.
My life is not right, bro. And I've been getting hit with frequencies. And I said to myself, I said, you know what? I said, if I get high, I said maybe the frequencies will go away because I've been having high blood pressure. My heart beating at a high rate, and my pulse rate and my blood pressure has been high, and I can feel it. You don't need to have a device that can check your blood pressure and your pulse rate to know that it's abnormal. So I've been having heart palpitations in my own home, and since I got high, I ain't been having it. But before I got high, I was having it. So now that I'm high, they don't even fucking care that they stopped using whatever they were doing to me. I got neighbors, they real quiet, they listening to me.
So Lee, I'm gonna try to give you just a little bit of inspiration right here. Regardless of everything that you're going through, being in a place, now just listen, being in a place where it feels hopeless, where you feel like you're on an island by yourself and all of the waves are crashing against that island, and there's nothing that anyone can say, seemingly, or do that's going to help you. What I'm saying is to you is this: you are in a position where you can be used greatest by God right now. Listen, if he allowed you to live and you're going through hell like this, you can now actually touch the heart of God and be used by God in a fashion that is uncommon. But hold on, but it takes an admission, an acknowledgement of him in your situation. Now I'm not telling you your situation is going to stop. What I'm saying is when you do the spiritual warfare, I don't know if you know how to do that. When you bind those spirits and you cast them out, and then you put your faith on them and you keep it there. And no matter what stimulus is or anything that's going on, the reality that the enemy is trying to shape around you, regardless of what they're doing, you keep your mind on Christ. You keep your mind on his word, the truth of his word. You say his word. You keep saying it and you believe it. And then what's going to happen is this, man. I'm not saying no Christian message. Oh, in time, your surroundings are going to. No, in the spiritual realm, you're dropping a bomb on them. And like that, if you were able to hear what they're saying in the spiritual realm, they would be like, oh no, he's praying. Oh no, he's binding us. We can't do what we want to do. We want to torment him. We want to do this. And we want to scare him. We want to put fear in him, but we can't do it because he has this hedge. That's how God works. When you invite Christ in, and I'm not talking. Listen, if you do what you're doing, that's your thing. But
Judah, I'm doing this though, but they're using directed energy weapons on me. You know what I mean? Like I can't see this. And these weapons, EMF, we're talking about ELF, waves that can cause range of disease, including cancer, heart failure, kidney disease, vertigo, hands and legs, paralyzed, eternal decay, memory losses, just to name a few.
Listen, man. Listen, time out. Listen. Hold on. I'm gonna mute your mic real quick. I'll mute your mic. No. You're still there. I'm not getting rid. I'm not getting you off. I'm just muting your mic real quick. Listen. This right here is what I'm talking to you guys about. When you allow, listen, I don't care. Listen, I've been through hell. Let's just say I've been through hell. And you don't have to believe me, right? I haven't been to hell, but I've been through hell. I've been in those situations that are similar to what Lee is talking about, right? Everybody's situation is different, and I don't claim to have his situation, but I've been in situations where you're just surrounded, you are just engulfed, people around, threatening you, possibly threatening and doing all these things, and I know what I did to overcome this. What I did to overcome those certain situations where kind of where Lee is at right now, where he just feels like it's just, man, too much. You must invite Christ into the situation and believe. There's no other magic pill. There's no other golden ticket. There's no other remedy. Christ is the one. So it's not about, oh yeah, but I understand, but this and this and this and this. What you're doing is you're speaking these things into existence, brother. You're speaking everything that you are saying that they're doing to you, but they got these weapons and they're doing this and they're doing. You just got done speaking it and empowering the enemy. And that's what I've been trying to tell, not just you, but everyone. The power of your words can shape your destiny. They created, the Most High God created the world and everything we see with his word. We are made in his image. So that means that we have the right, the power to be able to create and shape what goes on around us. And that's the secret that the enemy does not want us to know. That's why if you could hear what's going on in the spiritual realm, when all your targeting is going on and you hearing things and people are doing electromagnetic, because I told you also that stuff's spiritual as well. Not all of it, but spiritual realm is Satan is the prince of the power of the air. Let me say it again. Satan is the prince of the power of the air. That means he has sort of some sort of authority over this sort of over the world. He's been given temporary authority over it, or not authority, but he's not God. But he, the Most High God allowed the world's fallen, and Satan, the fallen one, has some sort of power in this world right now. So he can create things based off of your faith, based off of where your mind's at. If you're not believing in the Most High God, now Satan's going to come in and he's going to shape you. He's going to shape what's going on around you. There may be other people that are more astute than me that can say it a little bit better, but I'm trying to get this message across to you. You shape your own reality. You shape your own reality. And what I mean by that is you're no God. I'm not God. But what happens is this, your faith. That's why he says faith. If you have faith as a mustard seed, you can move a mountain. That's why he says faith is a substance of things hoped for, evidence of things not seen. Listen to what I just said. Faith is the substance of things hoped for. So that means that if you can actually hope for something, you can actually, because of your faith, you're basically creating a mental pictures, right? In your mind. Now, those things you're creating, you're seeing the vision of something, of that thing that you're creating, that vision that you're creating. And now you're making it come to being by speaking the word. So you have the picture in your mind, you think you have a thought, and you have a picture in your mind, and then all of a sudden you speak it into existence in Christ's name. Now imagine if you are speaking evil things into your surroundings. Listen, I'm not here to try to take anybody's problems away, because I know we are targeting individuals, or there's probably those on here that aren't really. But for the true target individual, you're going to go through things and check it. And this is what I'm going to bring you back in, Lee. These things cause even the greatest, the best of us to have issues, because it's nonstop. If you don't have Christ, you are not going. If you not have Christ, I'm saying if you do not just have and believe in him, but if you don't have a relationship with him, where you're bringing him into your circumstance, where you're speaking his word back to him, where you're asking him to come in and take over, and then speaking his word over the situation, then you cannot actually think you're going to be able to have any peace. You can't have peace unless you do that. Okay, Lee, I'm going to actually, there's someone else that just came into the stream. I'm going to let him back on, and I'm going to let Jay Holmes. Jay Holmes, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I do hear you. And Lee, if you want to remain in the chat, you can. Most definitely, brother, I'm with, we're here for you. This is a place where you can come to talk and share. But also, man, next time, just, make sure that you are giving us the hope, too. Because I know it's bad, and I can't, I'm sorry, but there's hope in Christ. There's hope. There's hope. You have hope. So anyways, Jay Holmes, man, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm hearing a lot of reverb. I paused the YouTube.
Okay. Pause the
But
YouTube, maybe other device that you have that might interfere with the audio.
okay, yeah, I turned off my YouTube for now. It's good to finally be speaking with you, Judah J. I've been following you, I guess, for the last 3 or 4 years, plus or minus.
Okay.
I've been a targeted individual for at least 20 years. Been in the military, was targeted prior to the military. I didn't even realize it. I mean, I have a lot of instances of being targeted.
Can you tell me? Can you tell me something that when your situation first started? How did you notice it, and what was your past spiritual background? If you
Okay. Well, how did I notice it?
Yeah.
I was actually, I would call it's not smart to call yourself dumb, but I was bullheaded. So I had to join a powerful institute and be patient to preserve my own life. That's how I look at it, because I was going through a bad divorce. Everybody in the town that I was living in thought they knew about me or knew stuff about me that I didn't even know about. Stuff about my marriage, stuff about the disrespect that I was facing that I didn't even realize within my marriage. I had to join a powerful institute. I had to get a divorce to even realize that the community was throwing shots at me, making fun of me, even within my church. And I grew up Seventh-day Adventist. Went to Seventh-day Adventist College, graduated from Seventh-day Adventist College. I can't even tell you the disrespect that I've faced in my lifetime from even family. Even families have set me up with, hey, can you lend me some money? I'm trying to start a business. I lent them the money, and I had to take them to court just to try to get the money back. And meanwhile, people on their end, are laughing at me nonstop about it.
So when you was younger, did this same thing happen? Did you notice when you was a child that your family was kind of coming in that spirit, or did it change at some point later on? Like, is there a point where it changed?
Well, I was always pretty good with my family prior to. I thought I was, but I know I was betrayed by them. When I was real young, a lifeguard that was teaching me swim lessons, I thought she was super attractive. I was riding in the car with my parents. I was a little kid, and I thought about her for some random reason. And like a second later, I looked over to the right, and I see her walking in a restaurant with her family and a boyfriend. And it was almost like, think about her. Now look over to the right and see what you see. It was like I was remote controlled to think about her, and then look, oh, there she is right there. And this is in a medium to big city, so the odds of that happening is slim to nil.
So it wasn't a voice or something that you heard, like some voice being.
It was like electricity. Like, think about that. Okay, I'm thinking about her. Now look to your right.
But was it an audible voice though?
It wasn't until later on that I started hearing mumblings, and that was actually as an adult when I was married, going through hell. I'd hear mumblings, and and that's the best way I could describe it. Like, yeah, in the background. Mm-hmm. It wasn't, every now and then you catch a glimpse of what's being said, but it was something to drive your heartbeat up and to cause anxiety so that they can get a mental health diagnosis. That's what I looking back on it now, that's what I saw.
And that's I'm glad you said that, because that is one of their tactics, is to they know they're shaping and creating a certain visual or a certain daily type of torment around us that we can't really express to anybody because it doesn't make any sense.
Nor can you fight it. With the scripture you can. With the scripture you can, but outside of scripture, it's really tough to fight.
And you can fight it, like you said, with scripture and with the spiritual warfare. But the thing is these people, they know what they are doing, and they know what it would lead you to want to do, which is to tell somebody so that they can help you. Now, if you can't get that help without, in your back of your mind, they're going to call you crazy, then you're going to probably be not as, reticent to go and tell anyone. So you're basically in your own private hell. What I would ask you, man, is okay. So now you know your family is changing, and they're doing they're asking you for things that are kind of go outside of that respect that they should. They're not respecting you. Why? When did it change? When you was a kid, like when you was a kid, you said you had a good relationship, and then you went, and then I guess you said you went to the Navy or to the Army.
It wasn't until I got married that I really saw. Like, once I got married and had 2 daughters is when I really saw the program. And I guess I don't think it stemmed from my marriage, but like everybody knew what they thought about me. Like I remember smoking a cigarette or whatever on the front porch. Adventists don't do that, but I was doing it. And this was like more than 10 years ago. It was after work. I was in my pajamas. It was cold. I put my coat on, smoking whatever I was smoking on the front porch. And this walked by saying, yeah, he out here on the porch, he in his pajamas. And this is a stranger. Yeah. I don't know this person. And this is how the program creeped in. And for some reason, it was like subconsciously, if I decided to go to prayer meeting or something, I never was paranoid about carrying my Bible around, but something or somebody was trying to condemn any good decision I'd made in my life during that time.
And and I'm glad you said that, because that is exactly one of their tactics as well. They use their direct conversation, and they're basically speaking about things going on in your life that they cannot know. They have some sort of mirror or whatever that they can watch you through, either through a device or through the spiritual realm.
During that time, as quiet as kept, I'm sorry to cut you off. I just wanted to get this information to you. As quiet as kept, my ex-wife, I'd be laying next to her and she sprinkled something in my ear. And to this day, I don't know what it was.
When did that? Hold on. She sprinkled something into your ear, and then did you know it was? Did you instantly know?
Okay, so I was in between sleep and consciousness, and it happened before, but I didn't know what it was, and I kind of rubbed my ear and I said, if this happened, because I was just in the relationship to try to find out what was going on and why my life was taking these turns. And the second time, which might have been a week removed from the first time, I actually was conscious and I felt the stuff hit my eardrum, literally, like, and then she turned over real quick, and then I thought to my mind, like, well, what was that? And I mean, there's a lot to my story. I could tell you a million different instances of weird stuff.
So after that happened, did you notice any physical changes or anything change in your life, or?
Well, I went to the hospital twice to try to save my marriage, and as you probably know, the military is not supposed to accept you if you supposedly had schizoaffective or any of that stuff. But that's what they tried to diagnose me with. And then if you fast forward a few years, the military accepted me in with open arms. It wasn't until the military that I found out that I was a targeted individual. And the only reason why I found out was because the military was trying to let me go because, I was tardy to work a couple times. They didn't have reason enough to let me go.
So they said that you were diagnosed with schizo? You said something about schizo?
Schizoaffective. Schizoaffective has to do with marijuana usage, and it's one of them DSM-5 diagnoses.
Okay. I'm not privy to that information. What is that?
Schizoaffective is not schizophrenia. It's
okay.
A schizoid symptomology that supposedly comes from marijuana usage.
Oh, okay.
But anyways, I joined the military. I'm in this cushy apartment just down the street from the Pentagon, and I'm really trying to find out what's going on in my life. I was having relationship issues, so I had the young lady leave my apartment. She left, and for some reason, later that night at like 3 a.m., I woke up for no reason at all.
3 a.m.
I stretched out both of my hands.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, I waved my right hand. And then the person upstairs said, Oh yeah, I told you I can make them wave. Ha 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 ha. And this is right before I realized I was targeted. Some stuff was happening in the community. I was getting street theater. Some stuff was happening on my job, and I was patient through it all because I know, well, just a little bit of scripture that I read. I know that I would have to be patient to try to get answers as to what was going on with me, and it was the community around me, and I realized that, and it was a tough blow. It was right around the time Aaron Alexis did what he did at the Navy Yard shooting. Oh, that's exactly the time that I found out I was targeted. And I went to work and I was rejoicing because I was actually punished. The military punished me for something very minor. And I had to do extra hours. And on the news feed, because I worked at a hospital, and on the news feed, it talked about Aaron Alexis. And I was praising the Lord like, yes, because I know it exists. And I'm not the only one who knows it exists. And I was thanking the Lord for that during that time. And the night before the Aaron Alexis incident, now this is how crazy it is. The night before the Aaron Alexis incident, it was a Sunday. And as a target individual, I realized, hey, I'm going to do most of my time sleeping when I'm not at work. I got to preserve myself to see what's going on. And I'd wake up, and constantly when I woke up in the city, there'd be like a whoop, whoop, the police. And it would be right at the time I'm waking up. It wouldn't be before. It wouldn't be after. It'd be like, whoop, wake your ass up. And I'm telling you, it happened like that, like clockwork over and over again, where it was almost like the sirens outside were the perfect timing. I'm not talking about, hey, well, that's questionable. And it happened in repetition, in such a repetitious manner that you knew it was for you.
Mm-hmm. And so let me ask you a question then. I mean, so these are, of course, if you're somebody that's on, I wouldn't say a list, but maybe there is a list, like on this channel, it's a spiritual type of anomaly or thing we're going through. You're going to experience things like that. These are commonalities. And some are more extreme than others. But my question to you would be, what are you doing now to actually kind of remedy? What's your power source?
Well, right now I play games, and I listen to your message. And your message is, to me, it's about truth, and the word of God is truth. I take it for granted. So right now, how am I remedying it?
What's your power source? How do you?
My power source is God. My power source is maybe singing some spiritual songs here and there. My power source is shooting a couple basketball hoops. My power source is so I really don't have a strong power source at this very moment. It's fluctuated because remember, this is 20 years, and I know since 2013, it's been an everyday thing. It's always been on my mind since 2013. This thing has been on my mind every day because I know every time I open the door to my house to go out to work, I'm going to be confronted with community-based harassment. How do I remedy that? Only through knowledge that I've picked up previous years. For instance, I memorized the entire chapter of Romans 8 because that chapter talks about how nothing can separate us from the love of God, which is in Christ Jesus.
So you do have a relationship with Christ. You accepted him as your savior.
I accept Jesus Christ, and I accept Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior. He's one who salvages and who can save my life, and has saved my life, knowing full well, and with me knowing full well that I'm in this program. Okay. And nobody can prove otherwise. No, I don't care who you are. You can't prove that this program does not exist to me.
I'm right there with you. A lot of us disagree on how it exists or who's at the controls, and a lot of people have a lot of knowledge, other knowledge about it. But I've always come from the standpoint that it's both, and they work hand in hand, and how basically the spiritual realm is in cahoots with those government leaders and and they're working together. And if there's a rift or a shift in the spiritual realm, see, I also believe everyone is not a target individual. And I also know that because
Agreed.
spiritual experience. And you have to, if there are people that are in control of, of course there's people in control of, or partially controlled, but if you're not going to affect them, if you're not a threat to them. And how can a single flesh and blood person or couple people actually endanger a whole operation full of who knows how many people, unless you have some power somewhere? And I'm just under the understanding that power is either in the spiritual realm, because anyone could
watch
a whole bunch of videos and they can read some books and get information about the inner workings of the government and all of the little factions, and they can say something. But no, not everyone's going to be targeted. You have to have something. So I'm under the impression that I'm not saying that we're no chosen people. I have, my channel talks about Christ and the relationship we need to have to fight this in this program. But I've never have been the one to say, oh, I'm 144,000. I'm a chosen one. I'm this guy that's just, no, I'm a person that's gone through hell in this, whatever this thing is, that now I believe it's a fiery trial that my God is bringing me through to make it so I can actually help others. Let them kind of see there's hope, and first and foremost, lead them to Christ, because I know the power that Christ is. I know there's no doubt about it in me. I've already had my experiences to show me he's real. So I'm just share that. So anyways, go ahead.
Your humility is good, and it's biblical. I'm at that point at times, and then other times I challenge God. I say, hey, if I got to be challenged like this, then there's a certain level of grace. And I don't know. I play around with the program. I'm trying to start a business, and I hope it works out. And I'm working or I'm not working. If I have a job, I really believe God's not going to leave me without a job, in spite of the community looking at me like I'm some kind of dissident, or there's a whole slew of things that are symbols that the community shows you. I'm harassed and have been harassed by anybody, anywhere from police, fire department, ambulance, old people, young people, college students. You mentioned that. I remember sitting at a barbershop, and even the barber noticed how these college students, black barbershop, white college students, and they're just huddling around outside the barbershop. Oh, he's in there. Like they want blood. Where's he at right now? I step out the barbershop, and and the program is so good that it makes instances where you're not being surveilled because you're not surveilled by 100% of people. You're probably not surveilled by 85% of people.
Yeah.
But they make it so the target becomes hypersensitive
to everything. You start questioning everybody and everything, and you can't trust people because you've had it happen so frequently that it's like, oh, well, I don't know if there's anyone I can trust. And that's what they want to do. Keep going.
And there's people that we see these victims, these mass shooters who are victims, but then also there are perpetrators. But these mass shooters, we know, because we are victims of harassment. We know that they're being harassed, not 100% of the time. Again, that's what that's how beautiful this program is. Not 100% of these people are, but a large number of them are, including to the fact that there is an agenda behind it, gun control, a level of, and other political advantages. Furthermore, African descendants, or ADOS in this country, I believe, are the most experimented on people on the planet.
We've always, descendants.
And I'm talking about people who are descendants of chattel slavery.
Yeah. So here's what Jay Holmes, I'm gonna have to move on, but check this out, man.
Yes, sir.
I love this conversation. I don't know, if whenever
I'll get back on. I'll get back on.
Come back on. We can have more conversation, man. This was great.
Yes, sir. I'm going to listen to the rest of your podcast, and thank you for having me.
All right, blessings, man. Okay, hey family, listen to this. And Lee, I know you're still there. I'm gonna come back to you in a moment. But family, listen to this. So you got some good information right there, right? Okay, you got some good information right there. You got a TI that is experiencing targeted individual things, going through the harassment that each one of us may be different, maybe similar, but we all can identify with it. And I want to impress upon you something once again. Regardless of what someone is going through, regardless of what you're going through, right? It's all about how you perceive what you're going through. And if you don't perceive it in the right way, then it will overcome you. You perceive what you're going through as a trial, a crazy trial that could be very scary and horrific to the mind, and also just every part of you. Every part of you is on fight or flight because of all these things. And I know that it's very easy to possibly allow those stimuli to overtake you. But I'm saying do not allow it to overtake you. What I'm saying to you is this: you have a power source that will come and that will give you that mindset and that right heart to put this whole thing in perspective. You'll know, let me just sum this up. Regardless of what you're going through, you'll know that he's there. When you know that he's there, when I'm talking about him, I'm talking about Christ. He's not some figment of your imagination. He's not some fairy tale. He is actually really there. He just wants you to invite him in. And now you just can't listen. He's really there. You just can't see him. Marinate on that. He's there. God, the God that created you, the one that died at Calvary, that rose, the one that loved your soul, never leave you nor forsake you, shall preserve you from all evil forevermore. Whenever that one is right there. He's right in your dwelling. He says that he never sleeps nor slumbers. He's right there with you. Now, when you invite him in, what he does is he's most of the time not going to talk to you in your ear, but he's going to be in your heart. You're going to, in your body, you're going to feel that. You're going to feel his presence. And when you start to realize, just sit there in your house, wherever you're at, and just be like, he's here. You just can't hear him or see him. He's right there. And then keep your mind there and just think he's there, the one that loves you. Now, you asked him into your situation. Now, when you're being targeted and stalked and things are going on around you, sit like that. Just sit. He's here. I hear that knocking on the door. I hear that knocking on the wall. You're feeling little electromagnetic pulses on your body or whatever that is, right? Sit there like this and you're like, he's here. Father, you know what I'm going through. Help me. Help me, Lord Jesus, Yahusha. Help me. You know what they're doing. They want to destroy me. They want me to destroy myself. Be honest with them like that. But like even create a mental image of him in your mind, of a person that's right there, and cry out to Christ. It's like, geez, Yahusha Mashiach, listen, please. And when you keep your mind there, this is why I kept doing this, steady. Keep your mind steady on him. Make it so your faith stays steady. That's my word. Peter walks on the water because he's steady, and then he starts to lose faith, and then he falls. So when you fall, that means that your emotions are now starting to pick up, and now you're going to start getting afraid. That's what falling means. When you start, you fall off the steady thing. Now something happened. I heard something. Now your faith does this, kind of wanes away. And then all of a sudden you say, oh, I'm coming back. I'm just going to keep my eyes on him, and I trust in him. I don't care what's going on around me. And I know it's hard, but I'm just going to stay there. I'm trusting in him. My heart, my mind's on him. I'm thinking about all his word, the good things he said he was going to do, how he's never leaving nor forsake me, how he'll fight my enemies. I'm keeping my mind right there. And then when you do that, I'm serious. This is what happens. When you honestly invite Christ in, and then give him the authority, because you have to invite him in. You have to open the door and let Christ come in. When you do that, he's now going to start fighting your enemies in the spiritual realm. The people that had these little demonic spirits in them that want to do things to you, that want to torment you and all that, they're going to now feel it now. They're going to feel it as long as you keep it there. The ones that keep their faith right there, steady, and stay there, and have that mental picture of Christ in their heart and their mind, now you start to hear the honks outside. Honk, honk. What's going on? What is he doing? It becomes real to you. You know it's spiritual then, because you're having this process of this inviting Christ to do things for you that are that require you to have faith and to keep your mind and everything on him and your heart and then trusting in his word. And then you start to get that thing right there. Whenever you see me do, that's the steady faith. Then you start to hear stuff going on outside. People start to, what's going on? You start hearing a little bit more chattering. You start hearing a little bit people more honking. You start hearing more cars because your faith is there. They know your faith is right there. It's spiritual. These people are operating with demonic spirits. It's about the demonic realm. The demonic realm has kept America all its existence. There's the secret from a targeted individual, right? That's what's kept America in power in all of the Western nations, all of the Esau the Edomite kingdoms and all this, and Amalek, like these fakes over there. Anyways, it kept them in power, their connection and their covenant they have with Satan. That's what kept them in power. That's what's kept them in power. But see, now their power is waning because in the spiritual realm, people are turning back to Christ, like truly turning back to Christ. Let me show you guys something, and I'm going to open this up. I'm not going to be on here too long today because the other day it was like 3 or 4 hours for the video. We were having some great conversations, a blessing. Once again, you guys push the thumbs up. If you're watching on YouTube, help me out and push the thumbs up. It brings people to the channel. The algorithm is basically YouTube algorithm. If you have thumbs up, even up or dislike or like, it will bring traffic to the channel. It'll put it in the search engine so that, more people will be drawn to the channel. And this channel, we have a message that we need to give to the target individual community, that there's hope for people that are experiencing these things, these certain circumstances, scenarios in their life. And also, it's good for us to share our experience so that we can basically help ourselves. This is like a therapeutic, cathartic type of thing we're doing right now, is being in the same place when Muslim. And I told you guys before, I told you this before. I don't trust any of you. I don't care how you sound. I don't care what you say, and you shouldn't trust. It's not. But here's the thing. Not to say I don't trust anyone. Not to say, that's what the enemy wants. He wants you not to even be afraid of everybody. Don't trust nobody. I trust those that I know I can trust, or that the Most High Yah has told me that I can trust through my discernment. And that's why we're supposed to pray for discernment, so you know who these people are. Because people come into your surroundings and in your environment all the time throughout your whole life. And you never know who people are, because a lot of the time you're not around them long enough. You ain't heard them. You ain't been around them. You ain't peeped them out. You don't know what they're peep their game out to see what they're. So then you start saying, you trust all these people. Don't trust nobody until you get to know them. And once you've gotten to know them, and then that's up to you. But then you can do what you need to do. But for me, I told you I don't trust none of you. But I love you. I love you for real. I pray for you, help you, give you the things that I understand as far as, spiritual warfare, to help you bind and cast out demons and stuff. Because that's what this program is all about. People are satanic. They're evil. They're monsters, right? With temporary power that leaves, right? It's going to leave. Trust, it's going to leave. In Yahushua Mashiach's name is going to leave. You don't know who, and once again, you don't know who everybody is, because some people are being used by God to do things that, anyways. Okay, so listen. So I have a video, right? I have a video, and this video shows you exactly what happens to perps that continue to walk in that path with Satan. Who knows when it happens? Who knows when this happens? But this video is very interesting. I've shown it before. It's demonic possession. It's something that overtakes a person and brings them into agreement with Satan's kingdom. And as we have been learning on this channel, and if you possibly already known, it can happen in the womb. It can happen at a child, where some family member will basically sacrifice their child to the demonic realm, or put them in a covenant with Satan's kingdom. So now where they have to completely, they're used as conduits for demonic spirits to basically speak their will through them, or not just speak their will, but, do things in this world that are completely in opposition to God, right? Setting people up, lying to people, misleading people, gaslighting people, whatever you want to do. If they're in positions of power, creating laws that are, that are not of God. Of course, we know that those people aren't in power, really. It's a satanic kind of demonic fallen angel type structure where they're actually in the positions of power, with Satan at the head. But of course, I mean, it's temporary. I always look at it like this. I'm gonna show you this video. It's all temporary, right? Their power is in the Bible. It was talking about in the Bible. It's temporary, right? And when you look at it like that, it should give you peace and joy. Christ said, he says, be not afraid. He says, what did he say? He says, I have overcome, be not troubled. I have overcome the world. Christ overcame the world. Here's demonic possession in its essence. This is what's going on. So her name is Misha Barton. She's a Hollywood actress. She made a covenant with Satan as a child. Her parents, as you heard, she realized that her parents actually sold her into the demonic kingdom, sold her out. Now she's basically made a covenant based off of her family. And now she has a spirit that is in her that leads her to do the biddings of Satan. And this is what's going on all around the world. This is the thing, right? This is the thing that's going on all around the world. That's the big secret, right? That demon possession. Just told you. Demon possession is what's going on. The people that are dying, I believe people that are dying suddenly are now having this spiritual experience where they might be being overtaken by demonic forces, based off of maybe something they put inside of themselves, but not just because of that. I think that it's like maybe having something to do with the wheat and the tare, maybe having something to do with, it says that this is the time for there'll be in this time, it'll be for the many, but later on the world will be for the few. So I think there's like a falling away, and the Bible does talk about a falling away that does happen. I don't know if that's what this is right here. I'm not saying it unequivocally, any of that, but it does talk about a falling away. It talks about in Revelations 9:11-15, how there's going to be the sixth trumpet that's going to be blown. And then there's going to be a third of the whole earth that's going to be destroyed, right? The people. So are we at those times? I don't know. But as a targeted individual, if you are somebody that is going through these experiences that we have been, talking about, all of these different, people watching you and following you and all this stuff, I don't have to go into it. If you are not serving, if you ventured into Satanism, if you ventured into doing the whole New Age principle practices and all that, if you're that person, if you're that man and that woman, I don't care who you are. If you're doing that, hey, it's a matter of time. Because listen, Christ, he's the ultimate spirit, right? He's the ultimate. And regardless of what the fallen one is presented to you, Christ, power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, do so much more. And we don't want to be on that side of his anger, as you saw in the video that I said shown earlier on. And actually, I kind of want to show that again. So I'm going to show this video again about this guy's experience of being in hell. A lot of you guys, if you've seen the video, if you want to stick around, you can. If not, then shalom to you. And there, of course, there will be other videos that I will make, y'all willing, of live conversations. Tomorrow, probably won't have a video. Maybe, y'all willing. Just make sure you keep your notification on. But anyways, before I show this video, I want to thank you guys once again for always coming to this, coming to my channel. I just started this whole process of doing the lives. So, because normally I just do videos, but now I'm starting this process doing live. So as time goes along, y'all willing, we basically, I'll have it, just a little bit more organized, and, have it as far as how I do my little interjections and stuff. I know it gets kind of extended and it kind of goes on and on, but I'm gonna get better with that. But anyways, like, share, and subscribe. Push the thumbs up. If you can do that now, that would be great. Everyone that's in the chat, if you have not pushed the thumbs up, do that. Push the bell notification. Also, if you'd like to donate to the channel, that would be excellent. Cash App is $$ Judah J Talks 144. Once again, that's Cash App $ Judah J Talks 144. That'd be a blessing. And also, please, when you come on this channel, I would like for you guys to want to share or to conversate. So that would be great. Anyways, here's this video. Once again, the message to the gang stalkers is this: there's a penalty for walking with Satan and going against your brethren and seeking to do things, nefarious things, to destroy people. Regardless of how you got the way you are, that's no excuse to do evil to people. It's no excuse. So check out this girl's check out this guy's experience. Shalom.
We're talking about judgment and the lake of fire. Because if I don't get this out now, then it'll be a long time before I say this again. Hell itself is going to be thrown into the lake of fire. You're going out of the frying pan into the fire. It gets worse. It's 100,000 times worse than going to hell. I was standing there and I was looking out, and I could see like it was like a light smoke. So it wasn't dark. It was like a light. So it was a haze, but it was very light. I could see it, and I thought I was seeing something from a distance. And then it started to move. I was on a platform. The platform started to move forward. And I realized I was standing behind a transparent, like a glass barrier. And I moved forward and it stopped. I'm on the platform. And I looked and there were people. They were lined up side by side as far as you could see. As far as I could see back, and as far as I could see to the left, and as far as I could see to the right, they were lined up side by side. And they had their hands up and their mouths open. They were screaming, but I couldn't hear them. They were screaming in terror, but I couldn't hear them, but I could see them. And then I looked, the flames came up to about almost to their waist. But you know how fire goes up, like they say, the fire licks. The fire was going up chest high, and their skin was melting. But it didn't come off, it bubbled, their skin bubbled. It's like, you've seen things that bubble. Mm-hmm. Their skin was bubbling. It was boiling, it was bubbling, but it didn't fall off. And the people were screaming. And there were these creatures. They were as big as, they were as big as a dog. Bigger, as a good-sized dog. But they were like black bumblebees. And they were flying, and they had these stingers. And the stingers looked like they were about 2 feet long. And there was 3 of these things around each person, all the way down, all the way back. And 2 of them would, when they put their hands up and screamed, the stingers, they would stick them through their hands. And the people would scream some more. And then when they opened their mouth to scream, the 3rd creature would stick the stinger in their mouth. They would stick it all the way in their mouth, and then they would scream more. And they moved like, it was like almost like a cartoon with precision. They moved. The creatures, they moved. The one that stung you in the left hand would move to your mouth, sting you in your mouth. Then it would move to your right hand, and they would move to the next person. So they moved like that. And the people just screamed and their skin bubbled. but they wouldn't, the skin wouldn't fall off. And they were just there. And I looked at that and I couldn't believe it. And then all of a sudden, whap, one of those black things hit the front of the glass where I was standing. He was trying to attack me. Whap, and I stepped back. And the angel said to me, these things will attack anything here. And I knew that's where Satan was going, and the death angel, who I pray to God I get to see him thrown in. I hate that sucker. But I realized what they're going to go through, and that this was meant for them. This was never meant for humans. It was meant for the devil and his angels. The punishment is bad enough to punish an angel. It's bad enough, that's hell. And the lake of fire is bad enough to punish one of the chief angels, which Satan was when he was Lucifer. The punishment had to be bad enough to punish a chief angel. It is absolutely horrible. And the platform started to move back. And excuse me, the angel was serious. He said, tell him don't come here. You, excuse me. Okay. You tell him don't come here. I realized this is the final judgment and the final place for all who don't accept Jesus as Christ.
You can feel my love. You can feel my.
Magnetic essence, the twist of Freud. Boys, the big boys, the expensive suits, the agendas, the crush the will of the truth. Undergo the misplaced perceptions, red from the dead spun like threads. Against kids in the Gen X meds, fight for the mental, lead points to the backs and slow down and make foul the brainwaves of Zion. Only dying, but Orion got the deity thoughts, the new age hope, blotted and wrapped. Token and hijack message that led you to get casted and locked and trapped in a pack of cognizant dissonant scraps. But we pack strength in backpacks with holes so the foe can't go up the road and get stuck in the stagnant motion. No emotion, lost in the sauce and trying to pay no cost to rise above the flaws. This is sad story paid for and sold like the oldest trick you could ever know. Figure it, but still the drip of bad dreams and frequencies and misdirected by deities, dispelled chains without an ounce of love. The blood of sacrifice is the price he paid to protect us from the well thought out rage that's pain to trap us in the maze. But you ain't getting fazed by that, is you? You ain't getting fazed by that, is ya?
You can feel my love. You